Sagar, you're not audible. I think your mic is not connected.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, should we start, Vishal?
I think so, yes. The delegates will keep joining. Let's start, Akita.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. We all know that time is a powerful force, but how often do we stop to think about how we can harness that power in our own lives? Today, we are going to explore a concept that is both simple and profound: the compounding advantage. Whether it's in investing, personal growth, or any long term endeavor, the key to unlocking true potential lies in two things: time and patience. Time, when paired with consistent effort, patience, and a strategic approach, doesn't just pass by, its compounds, multiplying the effects of small, deliberate actions over time. And in our fast paced world, we often forget that it's the steady, incremental progress that leads to the most significant results. So, over the course of this session, we are going to dive on how we can better leverage the power of time and patience, explore the exponential growth that comes from compounding, and learn how to apply these principles in ways that will ultimately unlock our greatest potential. To begin our today's session, let me take the opportunity to invite CA Jayant Gokhale sir, President Chamber of Tax Consultants, for his presidential remark. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashita. And good evening, Deepak ji and Vishal and Sagar and all the participants for today's program. Glad to see that the number of participants is still adding bit by bit. But I think one of the things with my white hair now, I can add a few things which I will come to later on. But let me first mention, why is chamber engaged in this activity? Because one would imagine that chamber being a professional body, we should be looking at giving you lectures on boring subjects like income tax and uh, international tax and double tax treaties and so on. But we are investing in our membership. I'm not saying investing time, because I believe that for any organization, investment in members is one of the biggest asset. It is the organization benefits when members go up, not in number, but in their stature, in their success, and overall the quality of professional life that you are living. And I honestly believe that chamber is a facilitator in your growth. And when you grow, chamber grows along with you. So that is the thought process that propels us to take you there. I trust all of you are very much engaged with the chamber on a continuing basis, because that is what will help you also grow very much. And I believe that that is something that is in your interest, although often at a younger age we don't realize it so much. As I'm saying, with my white hair now, I can comment on that very carefully and very freely. But let me also share that. Hi, President. Once. Sorry for the interruption. Uh, so I may share with you that we are looking at these matters in a more proactive way, and we hope that all of you will benefit from what Mr. Khemani will be sharing. I would welcome that with this sort of a organization in place, uh, we will have more and more people like you participating, because we are there for benefit of members and not for benefit of the chamber itself. It is a not for profit organization. We have got a strength which is sizable in uh, nearing 4,000. We are now spreading our wings, not remaining oriented towards Mumbai, but oriented towards the entire nation, because now digital membership is coming in, which will enable you to enroll from whichever corner of the country you are, and with no derogatory sense in that. But I would say that people outside Mumbai are often missing the sort of inputs that we can get from people like Mr. Khemani and so many other faculty whom we are able to invite to our platform. So I would welcome especially people from outside Mumbai. So if some of you have got contacts outside, some of you may be outside Mumbai, please do spread this word in a positive manner that we should be looking at more such people joining us to gain for themselves, not for the chamber. Coming to the subject, I'm tempted, sir. I know I'm reducing your time, but with the years of experience accumulated, let me just share with you, all the audience, two pieces of items which will appeal to chartered accountants more. As accountants, you know that in most manufacturing industries, inventory accounts for nearly 30% of the way that profits can move up and down. Okay, this is a well known concept. What is not so well known is that there are two items on the assets of a professional which are outside the balance sheet. One is time, because it is your inventory. And this was told to me by none less than Mr. Soli Dastur, that when a client pays you, he doesn't buy you, he buys your time. So, what is important is the time that you are able to devote to your client, you charge on the basis of time. And the most important aspect of time is that it is irreplaceable. This minute that I am speaking to you is now gone. So, therefore, your inventory cannot be replenished. Your inventory has got a finite end, and you can have only maybe 16 hours, 18 hours in a day, and therefore your inventory is very limited. Now, how to use that inventory in the best manner possible, I thought I must mention to chartered accountants in accountants language that this is your most important valuable item of inventory. And the second is your knowledge, because nobody pays you for doing the same work that you can do in 1 hour. If you take 8 hours, he is not going to pay you 8 times the fees. And the third is your intelligence, that if you have got certain amount of knowledge, you have got certain amount of time, can you leverage these two to come to a higher product? And therefore, if you are able to merge these, then your highest fees, a person like Mr. Harish Sarve is able to charge lakhs of rupees for every hour that he spends, because he has got three things. He has got knowledge, he has got 1 hour of time for you, which he is charging you, and he has got the ability to get the maximum out of that 1 hour. Not everybody can give the inputs that Mr. Harish Sarve can give, and that is why he commands such a price. So while I appreciate that Mr. Kimani will tell you about leveraging and how to maximize your time and use that benefit, however, I thought in an accountant's phraseology, if you want to maximize your benefit, and it's not only time, it's not only money, it's your personal well being also. I'm sure Mr. Kimani will touch on all these aspects. I'm not an expert, but I thought these basic concepts, let me share with you, because I honestly believe that this is something. Mr. Kimani, let me tell you, I have got a few meetings to attend, but I will certainly watch the recording because I may not be able to remain present. But I am at a stage in life where I have realized that you are learning every day, and I have not stopped learning, and therefore I believe I can still claim that I am young enough to keep learning every day that I live. So, thank you very much, Vishal, Ashita, for giving me this opportunity on this self development series that we have. Very important topic. Wonderful to start with this, and look forward to a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Your words of wisdoms are always enriching to us. I request CA Vishal Shah, for Chairman of Membership and Outreach Committee, for his chairman remarks. Over to you, Vishal.
Thank you, Ashita. Thank you, Jain sir. Welcome, Deepak sir. Firstly, Ashita, you've given us a nice introduction of what we are going to learn. I would use the word learn because I think learning is a continuous process where we as chartered accountants have learned over the years that every year, every session, there are new amendments, new things that we need to learn. But along with the professional development, our personal development sometimes tends to take a backseat. We're always looking out for the client's interest, but what about our own interest? Whether it's personality development, aggregating the power of compounding, what we are going to discuss. So, really happy to have a session on this and looking forward to hear Deepak sir. And just before Deepak sir takes over, I just want to give a small brief that Timber as an organization in its 100th year has tried to take and, has tried to reach more and more interested members outside the city of Mumbai as well. Like Jain sir said, digital membership is something that we've enrolled. It is because we get so many non-members attending our events, conferences, but they get restricted to only those one or two events. In this 100th year, as a one-time offer, we want to reach more and more members who want to participate in the sessions of Chamber. And for that, we've launched a digital membership. The details are on the website. Would request everyone to circulate amongst their known circles who are wanting to be a part of the member, and this is the opportunity that they'll be waiting for. Uh, with that, Ashita, I would like request you to take over and introduce formally our speaker for the day. Ashita, you're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Vishal. It's my proud privilege to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Deepak Khemani. Dr. Deepak Khemani is a global speaker, host, mentor, coach, trainer, and best-selling author. He specializes in comprehensive financial planning, one-to-one coaching and mentoring, retirement, life stage and estate planning, online and offline training and coaching, anchoring and hosting online and offline events. Professionally, he is advanced financial goal planner from AAFM USA, life member Million Dollar Roundtable USA. He has won award in financial planning from CII UK and awarded honorary Doctor of Philosophy by Kennedy University, Paris, France. He is a keynote speaker, anchor, and host at the Professional Speakers Association of India, speaker and host at top BFSI events like MFRT, AMG, IFA, etc. He is lead trainer at Center for Investment Education and Learning and mentor at Independent Consultants and Advisors Association. He is author of #1 best-selling book by the name Compounding the Eighth Wonder. With this brief introduction, I request Deepak Khemani sir to please take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashita, for that wonderful introduction. I must say that when you started the session, those first 4 or 5 lines, which you spoke about time and compounding, I must have given this session around 100 times in the last few years. But that has been the best introduction ever. You explained it very well, about time and compounding, and it works. So thank you for that. Jayan sir, thank you for that kind introduction and welcome. And let me assure you, whenever you are free, call me up. We'll do a one-to-one session. I will give you this presentation only if you are also in the room. So anytime. This is something that has been, very, very close to my heart. I've written a book on it. Let's deep dive right into the presentation. And what I want to do is, I don't want this to be a lecture where one person is talking and everybody else is listening. I would want all the participants to participate. If there is a question, please type your answer in the chat. That gives me an idea that, yes, you are listening to me, you are tuned in, and also the presence of mind. Some of the questions are, just top of the mind because. So I'll request all of you to participate. Let me share my screen and let us start. Ashit, can
Sir, no, we cannot see the PPT.
you can't see the screen?
Yes, now it's visible.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, namaste and welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Deepak R. Khemani, and today we will be speaking about time, patience, and power, and how we can unlock the power of compounding. Now, this is one, saying or slide which everyone possibly has seen on social media. There is a quote attributed to Albert Einstein which says that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. However, there is no proof that he actually said it. It is actually very, very powerful and very, very common, but nowhere in the world can they find a record that he said this. Let's go with this. Brian Tracy, another great, a person, motivator, trainer, best-selling author, says most great fortunes in the world are built slowly, takes time. They are based on the principle of compound interest, which Albert Einstein also called the greatest power of the universe. Naval Ravikant. Now, just like Einstein was the expert thinker of the previous century, current times, if you have not heard about Naval Ravikant, you are not following Naval Ravikant, go on social media today and follow this person. This person, knows what he is talking about. He says all the benefits in life come from compound interest, and interest does not mean interest on money. Everything that compounds because of time. He says money, relationships, habits, anything that is of importance comes because of compounding. And there can be no session when we talk about money and compounding without a quote from Warren Buffett. He says, combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and of course, compound interest. Good and evil increase at compound interest. A lot of times, people assume compounding to be powerful, which of course it is, but they always look at the positive side of it. There are negative sides to compounding also, and we will see this. Compounding and compounding is of very, very important. They are because of compounding of action, which leads to success, and compounding of inaction, which leads to failure. And this was very, very surprising to me when I had first read this quote. This is from James Surowski. He says people don't understand compound interest because nobody explains it to them. And the last line, the level of financial literacy in the US is very low. Now, US is the top number one country to be. Whoever passes out of graduation in India or anywhere in the world wants to complete their higher studies in the US, wants to go and work in the US. Most of the billionaires, everybody is there in the US, and the level of financial literacy in the US is very low. Imagine what is going on. So my question to you is, I would like to ask this question in the chat. Please, you don't need to think about this. What is that first word? What is the first thing that you comes to mind when you hear the word compounding? Just type in the chat, whatever you think, anything that comes to your mind. Just type in. Is chat enabled? Will I be able to see chat? Yeah. Just type whatever comes into your mind when you hear the word compounding. Okay. Multiplier, wonderful, Ashish, thank you. Multiplication, wonderful, Sagar, thank you. Come on, we are 27 people, you answers. There is no right or wrong answer. Just type whatever comes to your mind. Okay, let's proceed. Now, whenever I have taken this session anywhere else, and when I talk about compounding and money and investing, yeah, we have one more answer, exponential. Wonderful. Perfect answers. Most of the answers which I get are money, stocks, bonds, interest. Fine, works with that. Let me ask you this question. If 27 people are listening to me, I would love to have 27 answers in the chat. And don't think about it. Don't Google this question. Don't use a calculator. I will ask you one very, very simple question and try and answer it as soon as I ask it. I'm giving you two options. Take from me 1 crore rupees now, or take from me 1 rupee that multiplies doubles every day for the next 31 days? What will you take? Take 1 crore now or take 1 rupee that doubles every day for the next 31 days. I'm expecting some answer. 1 rupee that doubles. Second option, 1 rupee that doubles. Wonderful. Varsha, Santosh, first option. Good. Sunil says, Sumit said first option. Wonderful, wonderful. A few more answers. I would love what is happening. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who participated. Okay. Currently, we have the first. Okay. So, we have informed we have uh, so the correct answer is why every answer not about that. Okay. So for all who answered the second option, how much does 1 rupee become doubling every day for 10 days without using a calculator or root? Just anything that comes into mind. How much does 1 rupee become if you double it every day for 30 days? There is no wrong answer. Chalega, whatever you can think of. Any number that comes to your mind. 1 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore, what? How much does it become? Come on, people, you are enthusiastic. Any number that comes to mind. Let's proceed. If you double 1 rupee every day for the next 31 days, at the end of 31 days, you will have 107 crore rupees. 107 crore rupees. You can take a snapshot of this. You can check it out. 10 crores, 20 crores, yes, 3 crores. Okay. So it is 107 crore rupees. We spoke about, exponential and multiplier effect. Our brain is not designed to think in that logic. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. At some point, we will say 2 crore, 5 crore, 10 crores. 1 rupee doubling every day for the next 31 days becomes 107 crore rupees. So all those who answered second, congratulations. But the answer was not correct. It was 107 crore. So let's proceed. So many of us may have heard this story of the chessboard. For those who haven't, you will enjoy it. And for those who have, let's do a recap. A small 2-minute video. So there was this farmer, this poet. He used to write, and he had fallen on difficult times. And he came to know that the king in that area had announced reward. So his wife told him, why don't you go and meet the king and go and get some help? Anyhow, we are not doing too well. So he picked up his potli and then he started walking from the jungle and reached the palace. At the palace, he read out a few of his poems that he had written. And the king was very, very happy. Yeah. And king said, ask what you want. I can give you jewels, I can give you rubies, I can give you land. The man said, there is a chessboard over there. All I ask you is put 1 grain of rice on the first square and keep on doubling it every square. Asking, rice, I would have given you whatever you wanted. He said, no, sir, give me rice and I will be very happy. और वहां पर जितना भी गेहूं है जितना भी राइस है लेके आओ and then they started. They put first 1 rice on the first, 2 on the second, 4 on the third, 8 on the fourth, 16 on the fifth, and then 32 and 64 and 128. This kept on going. In some time, all the stock of rice in the kitchen was over. Then they decided to get more stock of rice from other kingdoms, from other kings. All that stock also got over in some time, but they weren't able to reach the last 64 square. My question to you is, what was the number of grains on the 64th square? Just like I asked you the question of 1 rupee doubling every day for 31 days, that was 107 crores, which means if we use this formula over here, on the 31st square of the chessboard, there would have been 107 crore grains. Imagine 107 crore grains on the 31st square. How many grains would have been there on the 64th square, the last square of the chessboard? Again, just type out a number, anything that comes to your mind. There is no right or wrong answer. Just type in a number, 500 crore, X crore, whatever you can think of. As I said, our brains are not designed to think of such large numbers in X. So very, very large number. 1 trillion, wonderful answer. Thank you for a few more answers. 1 trillion, trillion, 5 trillion, anybody. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just me that you are participating. I will give you the right answer coming up. It just tells us that 100,000 crores. Wonderful, Sumit. 100,000 crores. Great, great answer. But wonderful. Thank you, everybody, to whoever is answering. At least you are taking the effort. Now, let's move in. The number of grains on the 64th square was 9 quintillion. Now, quintillion is a number that has got 17 digits. It was 9 quintillion, 233 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854 million, 775,808 grains. Now, it's very, very difficult to get this answer unless you have a calculator or you do the actual calculation. What is the message? The message is that whenever you do something repeatedly, whenever you do something and you give it time and patience, it multiplies to a level which cannot be imagined. It is difficult to understand this. Now, when we were in school, we, learned the formula of compound interest. But for some reason, we remembered it only in school and only for the exam, and then we forgot about it. Very rarely, if I ask somebody what is the, formula for compound interest, people remember it in later on in their life. It's very, very simple formula. The total amount after n number of years is principal plus original value up rate plus 1 plus rate of interest. Okay. Now, a very, very simple calculation. I've got 100 rupees. I go to the bank. I give it to the bank and tell them to for 10 years. Bank says I will give you 10% interest. Every year I get 10 rupees from my 100 rupees. At the end of 10 years, I get my 100 rupees back plus 10 rupees I got every year for 10 years. I got 200 rupees. Non-cumulative interest. Every year I got my interest. I go to the bank and I tell them, don't give me this interest, keep on accumulating it. We all know what accumulating interest does. It just keeps on adding into it and it keeps on compounding. So we ask if the compounding is yearly, at the end of 1 year, I've got 110. At the end of year 2, I don't have 120, I've got 125. Now, after compound more this quarter, it keeps on doing its magic and it keeps on increasing a little bit slowly. Every time I do it the number of times, my amount keeps on increasing. Now, if I have kept 100 rupees compounding quarterly in a bank FD for 10 years, my 100 becomes 269. Simple calculation. What will be the amount if it is kept for 20 years? So my 100 rupees has become 269 after 10 years. What will be the value after 20? Again, anybody can. 100 rupees became 69 in 10 years. What will happen to it in 20 years? A lot of people tell me 269. So 20 years, double of 269. Compounding does not work like that, correct? We know what it does. If 100 becomes 269 in 10 years, in 20 years, it will not become 538. In 20 years, it is going to become 720 if it is quarterly compound. And if it is 40, it becomes 1,030. Invest money in Patra and national living certificates where money doubles in 5 years and 6 years and 7 years and 8 years. The underlying thing that is happening is compound interest and interest upon interest. And more the times it compounds, higher is the value. Rule 72, a lot of me knowing this because we are lawyers and chartered accountants in this room. Rule of 72, very, very simple way to understand. A lot of people tell me, hey, koi scheme batao, tell me a scheme in which money will double. How many years do you want to double? Oh, pata nahi hai. Koi double your money scheme batao. Okay. So double your money scheme mein, how to understand? Nowadays, we know that a lot of frauds are happening and people are promising double your money in 6 months and 8 months and 1 year and whatnot. A simple rule to understand. If you want to double your money, if you know the rate of interest, 72 divided by the rate of interest. So currently, if I go to the bank and if the bank is giving me 7.2% interest, 72 divided by 7.2, answer is 10. Your money will double in 10 years. If the interest rate is 9, 72 divided by 9, answer is 9 8 are 72. Your money will double in 8 years. Simple, easy to understand rule of 72. If you understand rule of 72, you have understood the way compounding works. A small snapshot which tells you how much is the rate and how many years it will double. If you get 12% return on an investment, your money will double in 6. My question to all of you is, when did you hear the word compound or compounding first time in your life? There is no right or wrong answer. Just type it in the chat. I heard it in school. Wonderful. School. Sumit, Sonakshi, CA Vishal. School. Wonderful. Thank you. Very, very active audience. And thank you for participating. We heard the word compound in school. A lot of people tell me we heard compound in maths class. We actually heard compound in chemistry class. School maths class, yes. We also heard it in chemistry class. So chemistry class, we were introduced to something called a compound. Let's Google and see what compounding is. Compound, two or more different elements. Water is a compound, salt is compound together, they produce something totally different. Hydrogen and oxygen, two gases combined, and you get a liquid. Sodium and chlorine, if you eat them separately, you will not get salt which is digested inside the stomach. You will not be able to eat sodium and chlorine together. But when they compound, they create salt. So whenever compounding happens, when it works, it does magic. When we give time to anything, what happens is totally, totally different from what was expected to happen. Compounder. I remember when we were young and we used to go to the doctor when we used to fall sick, the doctor used to check us and he used to give that slip to his compounder sitting outside. And invariably, that compounder used to give us 9 tablets, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 in the night. Nowadays, compounders have almost disappeared because everybody goes to a MD doctor or hospital. Those who have gray hair will remember going to a doctor where there was a compounder sitting outside. Let me be very, very honest and frank. I never knew why this person was called a compounder. We just knew that inside the person who's sitting, he is the doctor, and the outside person is a compounder. He was called a compounder because he mixed these 3 medicines in a proportion and then gave it to us. Compounder, somebody who mixed these 2 things together. And of course, the most famous example of compounding is the Chinese bamboo tree, which everybody talks about. Wherever you go, wherever you talk about compounding, about delayed gratification, everybody talks about the Chinese bamboo tree. When you plant this Chinese bamboo tree seed, for the first 4 years, you have to keep on giving it water and sunshine and fertilizer, and it doesn't even come out of the ground. It's nothing is visible. Nothing comes out of the ground. In the fifth year, something changes. And this seed, which was gathering all that energy, and in that time it was growing beneath the ground, it shoots up outside the ground, and in 6 weeks, it grows up to 90 feet. Something which was sleeping for 4 years, in the fifth year, with full pressure, bang, it just keeps on growing and grows up to 90 feet in 6 weeks. Overnight success. A lot is spoken about overnight success, but overnight successes take years and decades to do what they are doing. There is this example on social media. All of you must have read that the fastest human being, Usain Bolt, in all his Olympic races where he won gold, he ran for only 115 seconds. 115 seconds, and he has made more than $115 million. He's making almost $1 million for every second he ran. But we are forgetting the hours which he put in past 20 years, the amount of time he spent on perfecting that skill, on perfecting that art, which went on to give him $1 million for every second he ran. That's the power of time and the power of compound. Now, we've been seeing all about the positive aspects of compounding. Productivity, when done well, a small job done repeatedly compounds over time. Automating any task, once a machine in the project in the factory is done, it keeps on doing and it gives out a very, very big value. Knowledge, as Jayan sir was saying, compounds. Whatever you learn, whatever the skills we acquire, they compound later on in life. Relationships, whenever we give time to our loved ones, our families, our children, wife, husband, spouses, this is what creates relationships in the end. People reflect your behavior back to you. You give time to health. You give time to exercise. Every day you spend some time on your health, and your body keeps on working till the day comes to die. So, whatever you do, give it time. If you are investing money, give it time to grow. If you are exercising, give exercise time so that it becomes health. If you want friends and family, you have to give time so that you build relationships. All of us are professional financial advisors. We all these have not. All of busy seeing to our clients' job was done. Are we doing a little disservice to our family? It's time to take that much needed holiday, go and have and spend time with your family. Negative compounding. This is something which isn't talked about a lot. Whenever everybody talks about compounding or compound interest, everybody talks the positive things. Frustration in a traffic jam. You will start cursing the car next to you and the policeman and the government and the traffic signal. It helps no one. You can't help it. If you are in a traffic jam, only your blood pressure is going up. You can't avoid it. That's the way. You have to live with it. Stress compounds. Then you go to the doctor and you have blood pressure and you have diabetes and whatnot and lifestyle diseases. Negative thoughts. The more you think about yourself that I can't do this, I wasn't born for this, I'm not cut out for this, other people are lucky and blah blah and what that, everything compounds internally and your life goes on becoming more and more negative. Outrage compounds. We just saw what happened a few days back in Nepal. Just one cutting off of social media, and all the youth were on the roads, and in the end, hotels were burned, and the prime minister had to, leave the country. So, negative effects of compound. The other part, and for some reason, when their bill comes, they will pay only what is minimum, without realizing that the interest rates on credit cards in India is between 36 to 48%. You pay a small amount, You pay charges on that, and next month it keeps on compounding and compounding and compounding, and you end up paying more than what you had owed. A classic case of negative compounding is making minimum payments on your credit card. Never do this. The day you get your credit card bill, don't wait till the last day, pay it off. I spoke about health and habits. Whenever I want to start exercising, the first day is the most laziest. If I am on a weight loss, I want to lose 10 kgs. I will run the first day for 2 kilometers and come and stand on the weighing scale to find out what you have lost. Hard to that. So, in the first week when I am starting exercising, monitor, later you are now doing 50, and 1 year later your body is transformed, it's all tuned, and doing 50 100 push-ups is no big deal. That is what is compounding. Your lifestyle has changed, your life has changed, and you can stand up and you do a seminar like this, where you can take, I did this. This is the advantage of doing small things regularly and giving them time. Many of us may have seen this or know this. It is from the Atomic Habits. 1% change every day. Whatever I'm doing, if I want to become better, I just want to increase my expertise, my knowledge, my skill by 1% every day. If I can do only that much, which means, let's say I ran 100 steps today. I run 101, 102 tomorrow, 103 tomorrow. By the end of 365 days, you have improved 37.8%, 1% every day. The reverse, if you just go down, you will find a 97% decline. Positive compounding, negative compounding. Small daily choices compound into life-changing results. Course, we were talking about association building and network building. When we are in the proximity of people like us, people who know more, we learn from them, we learn from the wisdom of the crowds. Connect with 50 colleagues in the first year, they introduce you to another 150. In few years, you are recognizable and everybody knows you and everyone knows each other. At a point, you are standing up and speaking about thought leadership and how mentoring happens, how you can help and guide others. Networks and relationship compound. We all know this, especially all the people in this room, lawyers and CAs. We all know how, we were just speaking about how the rules are changing regularly and we need to keep updated with what is happening as far as the taxation rules are concerned. Read 20 minutes a day. In 1 week, you have read 100 pages. In 1 month, you read a book. In a year, you completed 12 books. In 5 years, you are amongst the top 1% of people because you have continually been to that particular habit, and you are now among the top 1% in your field. Patience. We were talking about time. Compounding, it can come only with patience. Compounding requires the rarest skill in today's world, patience. We all hear that, the attention span, which used to be a few 5, 8, 7 seconds few years ago, nowadays is less than 2 to 3 seconds. People are continuously scrolling on Instagram and watching reels and shorts. They will watch a reel or video for 2 or 3 seconds and then scroll and scroll and scroll. Everybody is trying to get hold of your attention. Nobody has got any patience left. And why? Very few people are able to achieve results from compounding. Why? Because most of us, including yours truly, are a little impatient. We want instant results. We are in the age of instant noodles, instant gratification. Nobody wants everything. One start on some. If it doesn't work, we will young yes, he's husband of my cousin. In the last 5 years, he has changed 5 jobs. So recently, he had joined a new job, and I told him, "What are you doing? How long do you plan to be in this job which you have taken?" He said, "Deepak sir, you know what? Times have changed. आपके ज़माने में और था. People used to join one firm or join one bank or one organization and spend 20, 30 years. don't want to work with any organization for more than 1.5 years. I want to learn. I want to switch. I want a raise. I will go somewhere else, learn, and I will keep on doing this. That is the fact of today's life. How to get patience. Focus on processes. Measure progress in years and not in days and weeks. The best thing, and this is something which most of us do not do, celebrate every small win. Whatever is happening, celebrate that win and then proceed ahead. And as far as money is concerned and compounding is concerned, our biggest enemy is inflation. Inflation is reverse compounding. We all understand this. Money is losing value over time. It is said a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. What are we talking about? The impact of inflation. If I have 1 lakh rupees today, whatever I can buy worth 1 lakh rupees today, in 5 years, the value of that 1 lakh is going to become 78,000 only at 6% inflation. We know inflation in education and healthcare in India is close to 15% plus. Imagine what is happening to the purchasing power of our money. There is a small story about Akbar, Birbal, and the gardener. You know, there was a day when Akbar and Birbal the and saw this fellow is sleeping. He reached out to him. He asked Birbal, "क्या चल रहा है? What is going on?" This gardener, I am paying money and he is sleeping. Birbal said, "Jahapana, please wait. Let me give him a talk. You don't worry, and we will come back a little bit later." When he came back to his and he was working, he asked Birbal, what did you tell him? He said, "I told him Jahapana Akbar has come here and he's looking as a session, as a person who will give him a job which will go on to become the biggest gardener in the whole of India, the head gardener in India." And immediately he started working. My question to all of you is your money sleeping? If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will have to work until you die. I have asked this one question to a lot of people in every seminar, every webinar of mine, where I reach out to people and ask them, how many of you have got more than 1 lakh rupees lying in the bank today? And for some reason, a lot of people raise their hand and tell me, yes, my money is lying in the bank. Imagine what is going on. In the bank, your money is getting 2.5% interest. A simple liquid fund will give you 6% of the money which is lying in your bank. Give your money the chance to compound, give your money the chance to grow, especially in inflationary times. Make your money work for you. Let's talk about a little bit about the psychology of compounding. Delayed gratification. Whatever I can put off for a little bit later, that will help it to grow and I will be able to use it much better in a much larger fashion in the end. Opportunity cost. We all talk about opportunity cost, what you give up for against what you will gain. Long-term thinking. Think in decades and not in months. Compounding the eighth wonder. No wonder it is called compounding the eighth wonder. Start small, give it time, and allow it to grow. This is the book which is written by me. It was launched in 2020 Jan, and it hit the #1 best-selling spot on the day it was launched on Amazon. It is available. Any one of you would like to have a copy, it's available on Amazon. Just buy it. And you know, a lot of what I have said is from this book. Of course, a lot of extra things are there. Compounding the eighth wonder. That is that step of in this evening where we are talking about compounding, thinking, and learning. So, give some time to learning from your regular schedule. It helps compound your skills faster. So always be curious, always ask questions. And before I close, it gives me the opportunity to tell you I am open for questions. I'm there on social media. You can connect with me on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Facebook. Search for Deepak R. Khemani, and I am there. Happy to take questions. Over to you, Ashita.
Do we have any questions?
Any questions in the chat? Anybody wants to unmute or whatever they are allowed to do? Yeah, please go ahead.
Any questions?
How to finish what we start. So if you could probably, expand a little bit on your question. In if you would expand on what you're asking. Otherwise, the only way to finish what we start is, you have to give it time. Let's remember. How many of you have heard about the 10,000 hour rule? It was made very, very famous that if you want to become an expert, if you want to become good at anything, you have to give 10,000 hours. Let us take an example of us going to school. We went to school for 10 years, first standard to 10th standard. There are 365 days in a year. Out of that, 52 Saturdays, 52 Sundays, and another 50 are, government and public holidays. We worked in school for 200 hours every year. 5 hours into 200 hours, 1,000 hours every year. We did that for 10 years. We came out from 10th standard, we gave 10,000 hours of our life to learning. We went to graduation and then we became professional. Ask any professional who is at the top of their career, their skills. They have spent 10,000 hours practicing their skill, honing in on their craft. Give 10,000 hours to whatever you do to become the top, to become the expert, the top 1% in your.
Sir, can you provide some examples of people or organizations that have benefited from this compounding effect?
One, very, very famous example of power of compounding and the value it has, and what compounding does, and it never goes away. For all those who are a little gray-haired like me, if you, I mean, the biggest star of the century, Amitabh Bachchan, when he started in the 70s and 80s and 90s, he was right at the top. And then at one day he decided, I want to start ABCL. And then there was a point when he was going to go bankrupt. He had nothing to do, no films and no money also. But because of his expertise, because of his charisma, because of the skills of his acting, in 2000, Kaun Banega Crorepati happened, and as they say, life changed forever. So if you have done something in your life which has given you the skills, the expertise, there may come a time when things go bad, but there will come a time when life will go back and take you again. So yes, sometimes we start and lose interest during the period of that learning. That is common. We are all human. If we were robots, we would simply keep on doing whatever we are told to do. So how to finish what is started? As it is said, in the movie Lage Raho Munna Bhai. जो भी काम किया है लगे रहो. Keep on doing it. Get mentorship, get advice, get somebody who's done it before so that they can help you where you are stuck. See, there is one saying which says, don't make mistakes and get experience. Learn from other people's mistakes and learn from their experience. So they say many times if you are going and climbing up a mountain, don't climb up the mountain and try to create your own road because nobody has walked that path. Ek pagdandi hogi, that small path is there. Somebody has already walked that path. They have created that path. They have gone through all that difficulty.
So
You're
next
mute, Ashita.
question. Yes, sir. Next question.
Yes.
How can individuals stay motivated and patient during periods of slow growth?
Yeah. So there is really, there is no real answer to this question. Two parts in motivation. A lot of people talk about motivation. One is being self-motivated, and one is external motivation. There is this saying goes, that motivation and having a bath is like the same thing. We have a bath every day. Similarly, we have to get motivated every day. So don't attend a motivational seminar, attend a workshop, and feel you will be motivated for life. It will give you that kick on that day, in that hour. In 2 or 3 days, that kick will wear off. You will forget everything. So just like you have a bath every day, self-motivate yourself every day and have a mentor, have a coach, have an advisor who is there to push you on that day where you feel, आज नहीं उठे ना, आज नहीं कर, let not exercise, you need a mentor who will come and knock your and you are already on you to go for that time. So self-motivation and external motivation. Both.
This is the next question. Can patience be a competitive advantage in personal as well as professional life?
100%, 100%. It is only patience which will get you. I don't know how many of you are a little bit religiously inclined, or when we go to temple, or when we listen to satsang, or when we listen to spiritual talks from different people, they tell us जो भी जल्दी आता है ना वो शैतान की तरफ से आता है, और जो धीरे धीरे करके आता है ना वो भगवान की तरफ से आता है. So whatever comes to you quickly, instant gratification lasts for a very small time. But whatever comes after you have put in all the hard work and it comes slowly, that comes from the right place and it stays forever. I hope I have answered that question.
Yes, sir. So next question. Can empathy and understanding contribute to greater patience in relationships
Yes.
or organizations?
Yes, most definitely, 100%. In fact, this is one part, empathy is something that has almost disappeared from personal relationships and, even professional relationships. We are just waiting to find out किसी ने क्या गलती की है, what he has done wrong, and we are ready to pounce up upon that. You did this, you did this, you did this. Empathize. There are times when people have difficult days. They may be having some problem which you or may not be aware of. They may be going through some difficult times, a health issue, a money issue, or even an emotional issue. Empathy and patience today are the best virtues. If somebody is empathetic and they have the patience, they will go very far. The only problem is they will go very far a little slowly. It takes time to reach there. But yes, empathy and patience both are required completely.
So next question is, how can small and consistent efforts lead to significant improvement over time?
That a chessboard with one becoming two and two becoming four and then becoming 9 quintillion, So it couldn't have become 9 quintillion at the second or the fifth or the 20th square. It had to be a slow and steady process. And of course, the very first story we were taught when we were in school was the hare and the tortoise. We all know that it is the tortoise who won the race because he was slow and steady, and the hare just jumped here and around and then went to sleep. So in life, there is some logic to you hearing that story when you went to school in first or second standard. They are telling you that compounding takes time. Keep on doing. There is a mentor of mine has this favorite saying. He tells us, "Be faithful to the small, and the big will follow." If you are faithful to the small, the big will come. Of course, it will come in its own time.
So can setting realistic expectations and goals help to manage impatience?
Yes, most definitely. Once you have a goal, once you have a chart, once you have something which is visually there in front of you, we all know about the SMART goals, right? SMART, we've all heard about that. So it tells us that any goal has to be realistic. It has to be time bound. It has to be achievable. It has to be specific. If you tell me I want to become rich in 20 years, that's not a goal. If you tell me I want to achieve a corpus of 5 crores in the next 25 years, and help me design a plan where I can invest, let's say, 1 lakh rupees a month in the next 20 years. Will I be able to get 25 crores? Yes. So clearly, whenever you are setting, it's very important to have a goal. It's important to have a goal. It's important for it to be real, achievable, and smart. And I need to follow the steps consistently and give it time. If I start on a journey, let's say I want to go to Delhi from Bombay, I can walk, I can take a cycle, I can go by bus, I can go by train, I can go by plane, right? I have all these options. Now, if you never traveled by plane, the first time you will be afraid. You will not know मैं पहुंचूंगा कि नहीं. लेकिन एक बार आपको टिकट मिल गई है, once you have a ticket which says go from Bombay to Delhi, is the job of that plane, is the job of the pilot to take you to Delhi. Similarly, if you are going by train, it's the job of that train driver to take you to Delhi. So what I'm trying to say is, have goals, have a mentor, have an advisor, have somebody who will hold your hand. He or she will take you to your final destination.
Um, do we have any more questions?
I also know that it is easy to give all these answers, and it is difficult to get up in the morning and you say, मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों होता है? It goes with everyone. Everybody at one point in their life thinks, why this is happening to me? But it happens to everyone. That is how you grow. That is how you go through life, and that is how you grow through life.
Sir, we have one more question. What are the benefits of starting to invest early, and how does time amplify returns?
Wonderful, wonderful. So that example of 100 rupees, quarterly compounded in 10 years becoming 269, and in 20 years becoming 630, and not, 500, what is 528. Let me share my example. I remember when we were very, very small, really small, 5 or 6 years old. We used to go to our Nana's house, and, when you are small, what you ask Nana for? Kharchi. Then he used to give us a 1 rupee note, and then yeah, we used to go and give it to our mother. And mother used to say, "This is money which is yours. Let's put it in a piggy bank." And one day the piggy bank became full, and you broke it open, and all the money came out. So that is one indication early in life which told you, थोड़ा थोड़ा करके जमाओ, keep on investing a little bit, and it will grow big. But it didn't grow. It was just as it is. वहीं पर था, उतना ही amount. Then when we grew up,
Just say it.
then when we grew up, we understood that पैसे को बैंक में रखना चाहिए. क्यों? Because बैंक पे interest मिलता है. Then your money, you see, you put 100 rupees and 100 becomes 105, 110. The easiest example to learn is about the BSE Sensex. The BSE Sensex that was established in 1979 at 100. So if in 1979 somebody had 100 rupees, today that 100 rupees has become 83,000 rupees. 100 rupees has become 83,000 rupees in 46 years. An average return of somewhere between 13 and 14%. Nowhere an asset class can grow at 13, 14% year. Keep on investing regularly, give it time, let compounding do the magic, and you arrive. A lot of youngsters today, I meet, some of them are 22, 23, 25 years old. Sir, हमको 10 साल में retire करने का है. You can't retire in 10 years. If you want to retire in 10 years, you'll have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of money. Enjoy your life, work, do your business, do your profession, enjoy your life also, invest some money also for your future. At some time, when you are 35, 38, 40, 45, you will have created a corpus which will be large enough for you to decide, yes, I have arrived. ये इतना मुझे चाहिए. In one generation prior, when we were growing up, I remember my dad was one person who used to work, and we were 5 of us. In today's families, there are 3 or 4 people, and 3 or 4 people are working. So the chances that you will be able to save and invest more is higher today. You will clearly be able to retire early, but take that first step. A lot of people come and tell me, sir, let's start at 2000 SIP. Sir, 2000 SIP से कुछ नहीं होगा. Just recently I met someone and they said, yes. So in 10 years it is 1.2 crores. 1.2 crores will become 5 crores in 10 years. Yes, 15, 20 years later, it will become 20 crores. You can retire. Yeah.
So we have one question, how to identify a good mentor?
How to identify a good mentor? I think there are two or three points. One, there are people who are mentors, but who are not easily reachable. Today if you send a letter to Prime Minister Modi, मुझे Prime Minister कैसे बनना है सिखाओ, he can't teach you. He is more involved in looking after India and the country and all that. You have to find a mentor who is reachable, who is approachable, and who has the time and who has the experience. So let's say, I'll take an example of you as the CA. When you passed out of the CA exam, you did articleship. You worked under somebody to learn what they are doing, and it took you a few years. It's not that you became an article, for 6 months, and then tomorrow you started your own partnership organization. I've arrived, I'm my CA. No, you need somebody to help you to understand the processes, and that is a mentor. Luckily, you are in a profession where it's not to work under someone, and then you graduate and you start your own service. In a lot of fields in life, it is difficult to find a mentor. So the question is good. Find somebody who is experienced, who is approachable, and who can teach. It's not easy, but you need these three qualities.
Thank you, sir. That's all from the question side. I request Sagar Mehta to formally give a vote of thanks for such a wonderful session that sir has given to us. We have really learned a lot from you. Thank you very much, sir. Sagar, please take the.
Thank you, Ashita. Good evening, everyone. It has been such an honor to be part of such a wonderful essay session. On behalf of CTC, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest and speaker, Dr. Deepak R. Khemani, sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing time today from your busy schedule to grace this occasion. We had an opportunity to hear your thoughts today, and I'm very sure that this will help all of us in future. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for inviting. Hope to
Thank
see
you,
you
Deepak,
soon.
sir.
Thank
It
you.
has
Thank
been
you,
a
Vishal.
wonderful
Thank you.
session. It's very enlightening and something kind of different for the kind of